Oh, it's extremely important. You know, you don't want to end the season going into the bowl season after a loss, and we're very fortunate to have this game. But at the same time, we've got to play well so that we can feel good about ourselves when it's, you know, when the game's over on Saturday.
Looking back on that Oregon tape, what went wrong?
Oh, you know, I think the, you know, two biggest things, the things I've told other people in the media is we didn't coach well enough and the players didn't play well enough. We had a lot of situations where things that we did in practice, you know, looked good and we executed well, and we didn't execute well at all in the game and against a good team, let alone just in any game. You've got to be able to execute. You know, the burden just doesn't fall on the players. The players have to take, obviously, some of the burden, but at the same time, obviously, we didn't get our message across to them.
So I guess using this week to kind of maybe correct some of those mistakes, get right mentally too?
More mentally than anything, because you know, just like every week, you know, you take your defense and you adapt it to the offense that you're facing. You know, how you cover down, how you align, where your vision needs to be, and therefore you can play fast and make plays.
What have you seen from Nicholls State? I mean, a lot of us don't know much about them. So.
Yeah, they, you know, we had a 2011 film at the beginning of the year. You know, they were a big pistol team, a lot like UCLA was, spread, running option type of plays, pulling guards, 4 wides at times, tight end 3 wides. Other times those were their 2 big packages. A little bit of what we call 21 personnel with 2 backs, 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Power run game, and another play what we call divide, a zone type of scheme. And what they've done is they've seemed to have adapted their personnel to the end. They've made guys specialists. For example, last year's quarterback, number 3, was wide receiver, quarterback. And this year he comes in as a quarterback that runs the option phase of their game. The other quarterback that they had struggled throwing the ball last year because it was obvious that they did like to throw the ball as well, and he really struggled, whether it was pass protection broke down or the throws were inaccurate. That's one area that we see over time that they've improved in is their throwing game.
Look back at, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, is this week though more about getting ready for Nicholls State or maybe just getting yourself right?
Oh no, absolutely getting ready for Nicholls State. The way that we're going to feel good about ourselves is through our execution and the way we play and then the outcome of the game. And that's obviously important. We're not overlooking this team. This is the next opponent, and it's very important that we play well. This takes us into the off season and into the bowl season.
When you look back at the Civil War, after every game that you find teachable moments. For you in the defense, maybe what were some that stood out to you that you showed the guys in the film you drew lessons from?
Well, number 1 was the overall execution of the scheme, and again, just, you know, it doesn't matter how long you've coached. You know, been coaching for 30 years and still made mistakes as far as preparation is concerned after looking at the game, because when the players aren't executing and don't get covered down and didn't at sometimes seemed even confused at times in their cover down. You know, you look back at that and you say, hey, we just need to spend more time, both in the off season, the preseason, and then of course the game week leading up to that. With all that said, I mean, you know, we're still in the game. And there were 2 big turning points in the game. We felt there was a 4th and 7 where we had a sack. Quarterback made a great play. He's a great player. He's going to be a great player in this conference for as long as he's here. And then they convert a 4th and 7, and then an atrocious error that we made was on 3rd and 17, and we thought we were in pretty good shape on that. We had a good pass rush. And the coverage that we had should have lent itself to either making a play, possibly an interception, or even just an incompletion, and we didn't. They converted on the 3rd and 17.
Jordan said after the game that having this Nicholls State game was going to be a positive because he wanted to take this Civil War loss out on somebody. Do you feel like that defense is sort of embracing that mentality as well, where they just want to take out the frustration of losing a game like that?
Yeah, nobody's verbalized that specifically to me. I'm glad to hear that Jordan said that, and I don't doubt that this group, because it's a group that's got a lot of pride. They've accomplished a lot. They've made great strides from last year to this season, and then we still have a group of the majority of the guys come back. Unfortunately, we lose players every year. Guys like Jordan that have had a good year, and Samalo and Masani Anthony Watkins, and you want them to go out too on a positive note during the regular season, and then then the bowl game is a reward for them, and then also another opportunity to win another football game and get to a 10-win season.
This team has shown the ability to bounce back and let losses kind of roll off their back, so to speak, without any ease. What do you attribute that to compared to years past?
Well, I don't know if they're necessarily any different than years past. I think the fact that it's a very competitive group. It's a very competitive group just individually as people. They've got good chemistry amongst one another. They've been talking for the longest time, ever since probably about 2 weeks forward from today, when the season ended in 2011. They've talked about trying to get things done the right way and working hard and all those type of things. So it's just been a group of players, a team that has a focus, has a purpose, and they want to excel, they want to do well.
And Jordan also mentioned that this Nicholls State game was bigger than people realize because it gives the Beavers an opportunity to finish the year with 10 wins if they win out. That getting 10 wins isn't something that happens a lot here at Oregon State. So for you to be a part of something like that, I mean, can you describe?
Yeah, I mean that's always nice. The important thing I think right now, number one, is winning the game, and then the immediate result of that winning that game will put us in a better light when it comes to choosing the bowl teams from our conference to the respective bowls, and then it's on to the next game, and of course, a double. Anytime you win, 10 games in a season is fantastic. Been a part of one here, in the recent past, and it would be great. It would obviously be just a tremendous light shed on the program if we do that.
Mark, you said you hadn't seen, none of the guys have really said how they want to take it out on somebody. Have you seen that in practice? Because sometimes it's hard, to come back from a loss like that in the Civil War to, have the motivation the next week when it's an opponent, a different opponent.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, Monday was yesterday, and at the same time, they worked through the practice. There wasn't any pulling teeth. They did a pretty good job. At the same time today, I thought, we haven't seen the tape obviously of practice yet, but I thought today the tempo was better, the focus was better, and if anything, just hey, the burden's off your shoulders from the last game. Let's go out and get this one. You have something. Whereas when you don't have something to turn to, your mind is a tremendous thing. It's a terrible thing at times. So at least we have something to focus on, and hopefully do a good job in this game and move on from here.